Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live 00105, or I should say 00105. Hashtag error or error. I don't know how you want to say it. So, anyways, let me go over the note section here, what I'll be talking about. All right, so in the note section, I have my Can Bitcoin be replaced via multiple hard forks? James Bond interview. That was an interview by CrushTheStreet. If you hadn't had a chance to watch the video, please go ahead and watch the video. Published November 9th, but interviewed I think November 7th. So if I talk about hard forks or SegWit 2x, it was just before SegWit 2x was canceled, and I say a lot of interesting things as well. Also in the note section is collecting your free Bitcoin Gold coins with Coinomi. It's a link to the support desk on instructions on how to do that, whether you had Bitcoins on Coinomi at the time of the snapshot of Bitcoin Gold, or whether you want to sweep your private keys or import your recovery seed onto Coinomi to basically extract your Bitcoin Gold from your Bitcoin. So many different ways to do that. I bring it up more, or I emphasize that a little bit more, because recently there was a wallet, an online wallet, my Bitcoin Gold wallet, that was on the website of bitcoingold.org, that was stealing people's regular Bitcoins. So they were stealing regular Bitcoins. So I know Coinomi works. I know I own the private keys. I control the keys when I use Coinomi. So just want to emphasize that. I also made a video called How to Split Bitcoin Gold BTG 01. That's my tutorial video on how to split your Bitcoin Gold. If you had Bitcoin on your Coinomi wallet, eventually, as soon as the main network of Bitcoin Gold is safe to transfer Bitcoin Gold, I'll probably do more tutorials on how to sweep private keys, and also how to, I don't know if I have any, I might have some Bitcoin on another wallet that has the mnemonic seed, so maybe I'll do a tutorial on that. So, but that's in the future. I have a link to Bitcoin Gold as well, for those of you who are interested about Bitcoin Gold. And every Bitcoiner or every person that had Bitcoin during the snapshot is probably interested in Bitcoin Gold. We'll go over the prices if I remember. And then I have links to other potential hard forks or splits that are coming up. Bitcoin Silver. And then underneath that, I have It's Time to Stop meme. I think it's really time to stop with all these forks. But anyways, the meme is there. Bitcoin Platinum, Bitcoin Uranium, BitcoinCashPlus, BitcoinClashic. All right. And those are all the links to potential forks. Actually, one of these, BitcoinClashic, actually did fork. Or I wouldn't say forked. I should say it continued despite that BitcoinClassic already forked. So there's already one split right there that you may already have, you may already own right now. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. List of airdrops. Okay, cryptocree.com/airdrops. It's just a list, and it's an updated list of all the airdrops. Some are worth it, some aren't. I don't really waste my time on it, but it is there for anyone who's interested in getting free money falling from the sky. And then I have a link to SegWit Charts. I always forget to look at it, but maybe I'll remember today, or maybe I'll forget. And then CoinCodex. If you're tired of looking at all the BitConnect banner ads, or if you're tired of looking at the BitConnect token in the top 50 of the listing websites, or at coinmarketcap.com, you can use CoinCodex, and they don't have very little banner ads, and they do not list. Well, they BitConnect is listed, but they tell you why they don't list it. Okay, you can look it up, but they tell you why they don't list it. And plus, they have a news section. I think that's very interesting. Also, another listing site, LivecoinWatch. You could LivecoinWatch.com. I really like that site. It's gives you live feeds. It'll tell you what the price is as it's happening. You don't have to refresh it all the time. And so that's another good one. CoinGecko is another listing site, and I like that one because it gives you an index of developer participation as well as community participation. And if you're going to be investing in altcoins or ICOs, that's a very important metric, because it should tell you whether it's a scam coin or not. Anything below 70 as a total score, in my opinion, is questionable. So, but just more information for you to help you navigate through all this. Also in the notes section is bitinfocharts.com. It's also another listing site, but it has a lot more information on it, as well as hashing rates, block times. I'll be going over on that as well. And then also in the notes section is Johoe's Mempool statistics. I'll go over that. We'll take a look at the Mempool. We'll take a look at fees. I usually do that at the end of the show. We'll look at the fees. We'll look at the Mempool, and then I'll do a chart analysis. And also in the notes section is Transaction Accelerator. Probably don't need it now, but just in case the network gets spammed or your transaction gets stuck, this is a tool that you can use. Although it's via BTC, but still a useful tool. So anything that's useful, I'm more than happy to share. Okay, and then I have a link to Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash Hashrate historical 6-chart month for those of you who want to keep up with the hash rate. So it's kind of important, because those are the two competing implementations of Bitcoin, maybe 3 with BitcoinClashic coming up, that requires the SHA-256 mining algorithm. And if you're wondering why your transactions kind of slow down or speed up or whatever, it's because hashing rate is moving over to different blockchains, and it increases the block time and decreases the block time, increases the difficulty, decreases the difficulty, in particular with Bitcoin Cash and maybe BitcoinClashic soon enough. So, all right, so now I'm going to get to the meat of the show, what I'm going to be talking about. And it's going to be SegWit 2x minority fork thrown into question as BTC1 nodes stall. BTC1 nodes are basically the implementation that was going to be used for SegWit 2x. And so I'll talk a little bit about that in the show, but pretty much I think SegWit 2x is done. It's finished. It's dead. It was dead on arrival. And I'll get into it a little bit more when I get to that subject here. Also, fork activation information. This is a website, btcforkmonitor.info. It monitors Bitcoin, and then the potential SegWit 2x, and also Bitcoin Cash ABC. So it's basically a person that's running 3 nodes, Bitcoin Core, BTC1, and BTC ABC. And it's just monitoring them if they do an inadvertent chain split, which happens all the time, but it ends up one chain just gets orphaned. But there's a possibility where if there is a chain split, you can inadvertently get two chains running in parallel until one reorganizes into the other. It kind of happened with Bitcoin Gold, actually. So let me see here. What's next is Bitcoin Cash comes to eToro Bitstamp. So just a little bit of news about Bitcoin Cash. Just got to keep up to it, since most Bitcoiners, at one point or another, if you own Bitcoin, you pretty much are owning, or you have owned, Bitcoin Cash. And it's good to keep tabs on Bitcoin Cash, because you never know what's going to happen with the hashing rate. And then next underneath that is meet BitcoinClashic. Yeah, BitcoinClashic. A weird and totally unexpected cryptocurrency rebellion. This is the website is I don't know what the website is, but the source actually comes from Motherboard. But I'm going to use this website just because it doesn't have too much ads, and it doesn't slow down my web browser. But basically, BitcoinClashic is the original chain of BitcoinClassic, and I'll try to explain that a little bit more. And you don't need to buy these coins. Okay, you should already have them. If you have if you had Bitcoin during the hard fork of Bitcoin Cash, all right, of Bitcoin Cash, you probably still have, and you still have these Bitcoin Cash when Bitcoin Cash hard forked to their new DDA. I forgot what it stands for, but it's their new difficulty adjustment. You probably have BitcoinClashic. I'll try to explain that a little bit better, but it's live. Apparently, it's live, and because of the EDA, the emergency difficulty adjustment that BitcoinClassic originally had, that BitcoinClashic is continuing, it was able to continue to mine, and the difficulty adjusted so low that it was able to survive and continue on with that fork, even with a very little hashing power. I have also Twitter from Jihan on the status of BitcoinClashic when it started. BitcoinClashic also started a Twitter account as well. It is live. It's ready to. I mean, it's real. So this BitcoinClashic is one of the forks that was a potential fork, but now it is a fork. Now, question is it going to actually take off? Actually, going to do something? Will it get support? That remains to be the question. I have a link to the Reddit sub forum for BitcoinClashic if anybody is interested. I'm not going to go over it. It's just a Reddit forum, so but it's there for you. BitcoinClashic mining pool. So there is a mining pool already set up. BitcoinClashic .ninja. That's the mining pool. You can all go there if you have. It's the downside is it's another chain that competes for the SHA-256 algorithm. So another thing we're just going to have to watch, because it is going to affect the block times of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, as well as BitcoinClashic. Gosh. And then, of course, the mining pool also has a Twitter account, BitcoinClashic Pool. There's a link for that in there. And then Slush came out with a tweet, and it's a very interesting tweet. Apparently, if you have Trezor, and since BitcoinClashic is the original legacy chain of Bitcoin Cash, essentially, Trezor wallets already incorporate BitcoinClashic into their wallets. So that's interesting. But the most interesting thing about that particular tweet is that the fact that there is no replay protection. So when Bitcoin Cash forked, I should say, into their new difficulty adjustment, they actually did it with the assumption that no one would continue to mine on the legacy chain of Bitcoin Cash. So there was no replay protection implemented. and why would you, right? You wouldn't expect that to happen. But because there's a chance that there was, now there is BitcoinClashic, there's a possible chance that since there is no replay protection, that coins can be replayed on the BitcoinClashic chain as well as the Bitcoin Cash chain. So that's something revealing about that tweet, as well as if you go into the Reddit link for the BitcoinClashic, there's talks of maybe, possibly, I'm not sure if it's possible, but there could be a reorganization as well. In other words, one chain could be wiped out. So if BitcoinClashic gets enough hashing power and becomes the longer chain, and it's possible because of the EDA, the emergency difficulty adjustment, that they can become the longest chain and have the most hashing power. So this is interesting, very interesting news. And of course, they have a Twitter for BitcoinClashic website, that BitcoinClashic wallet and potential exchange news, I think, as well in Twitter. And so that's the meat of the show I'm going to be talking about. And then also in the notes section is your typical, BitConnect bashing. Why has ICO Index labeled BitConnect as an outright fraud? Another one is notice regarding high yield coins on top of BitConnect. And then what is BitConnect and why have we decided to distance ourselves from it? These articles are for the audience members. If you've seen an ad when you were watching this video, whether it's Craig Grant or Craig Grant's I don't know what to call her, but mistress, Juliana, you might want to watch. You might want to read those links. And also, I made a video. I actually interviewed 3 BitConnectors. 2 of them rage quit. 1 of them was stupid enough to stick around to let you know where you can find them. The fourth guest I had was just a normal guest, and even he could see that BitConnect was a Ponzi. So there's that for you. And then the video theme for today, or I should say the video education for today, off by 1 errors with examples. This video is basically a tutorial video of what is off by 1 error. And I think this is good. This is good. And then also I have Wimpy. I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. I don't know why. I just felt like putting that in there. I'll try to do my impersonation. I'm going to do an impersonation of an Indian Wimpy, because the video off by 1 error seems to be a guy from India. You can tell by the voice. So I'll do my Wimpy impersonation. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Well, that's my Wimpy impersonation, my Indian Wimpy impersonation. Anyways, that video is in there. I thought it was very funny, so I just put it in there. I also have a link to hashtag yes2x73, what you're looking at right now. I think this will be my last hashtag yes2x meme that I'm going to be titling hashtag yes2x, because I feel confident enough that SegWit 2x is done. It's over. It's no more. There might be a slight chance. I do have an insurance policy. I have insurance and the small percentage chance that SegWit 2x will happen. I mean, there really is a slight chance, really small, but I'll go over that. And then I got a Bitcoin pot of gold. I have a donational address to the Bitcoin pot of gold. It's a SegWit address. Please donate to it. It is a way for the audience members to have fun and trying to crack the code. Also, every $10 increments, I think it's reached $50. If I can get somebody to donate to bring the value to over $60, I will give you the 6th clue to the 6th word of the 24-word recovery seed. And if you're smart enough, you can go to the GitHub and actually get the list of over 2,000 words that are used in the 24-word recovery seed and the mnemonic seed generator. And then also have a link to different YouTubers: Hiroja Shibe, Space Odyssey Network, Skive, Yes for Motivation, Bitcoin and Coffee, the 21 Million Club, and the Crypto Type. So let's all see who's in the chat right now. So I see 21 Million Club was in here quite early. Good to see you. Dual Overhead Camness, welcome back. I'm happy you enjoy my shows, and yes, I do them on time, or try to at most. And then Bitcoin B, how you doing? And Hiroja Shibe, Space Odyssey Networks in the house. Brian, as always, good to see you. So excellent. Excellent. All right, so let's go on with the meme here. Off by one error. SegWit 2x missed it by that much. Missed it by that much. If you don't know what I'm talking about, apparently SegWit 2x is stuck on a certain block height number and can't continue onto the block in which it was going to fork. And so I don't know if that's bad coding by Jeff Garzak. I don't know if SegWit was intentionally was never to happen. It's almost like you've got to be the development team for SegWit 2x and BTC1 for that node, for that implementation, is written by very, very incompetent development team, or this SegWit 2x was never going to happen. And again, we've all been played. And since the New York agreement, it was well known that this was never going to happen. So therefore, the code that was written for it was written in a way that would never allow it to happen. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, let me go on, and we'll see what I'm talking about here. Oh, sorry for the bright screen. It's really bright. What? Okay, sorry about that. So here is the donation, the Bitcoin pot of gold. Hey, how you doing? Q bro, nice to see you. And this is the Bitcoin pot of gold. If you can donate to the Bitcoin pot of gold with the QR code and the arrow pointing to the pot of gold, that's the donational address. I think it's at 60. It's just below. It dipped down. The price has gone down a little bit. It's dipped down to just under $60. Just need someone to donate to push it up to 60, and I can give you the 6th clue to the 6th word of the 24-word recovery seed. Unless you think you're very good at cracking passwords, there's a QR code on the right side. That is the encrypted private key. If you scan it, it'll request a password. Now keep in mind, this is a SegWit address, so you'll have to learn how to use a SegWit sender, or if you have a SegWit wallet, You can sweep those private keys right now. You can take all the Bitcoins, and the QR code down in the middle is the link to, and you probably need just a regular barcode or QR code scanner, not a wallet. But if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to Yellow Fever for You, take you to his channel. He's the one that gave me this idea. So, all right, excellent. All right, so let's get on to this here. So crypto coins news. SegWit 2x minority fork thrown into question as BTC1 nodes stall. And so I don't know if this was intentional. Hello, Anthony Anderson. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the chat. I don't know if this was intentional. If I could read code, and if I was a developer, I probably would have gone over this code. And I think it was already known that this issue was there, because it seems to me that this issue was brought up. The error, what was it called? I'm sorry. Let's see, what was it called? Off by one error. Oh, goodness. So off by one error, it was already kind of brought up to Jeff Garzek. I don't know if he changed it or left it that way intentionally, but it seems to me that I think two things. Either BTC1 node developers, which I would assume is Jeff Garzek and some other people, are completely incompetent and should, like, you know, if that's the case, then I consider Bitcoin Cash and then any other of these implementations that are trying to take over Bitcoin core implementations to be very, very dangerous. And I'm highly skeptical that any of them will succeed. So that's one scenario. The second scenario is that SegWit 2x was doomed to fail. It was dead on arrival. And that was, I guess that code was put in there to make sure that it never does hard fork. It never does hard fork. So I'm not sure which one's which, but there might be a slight chance that there may be a developer out there and some miners that could try to continue the hard fork. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this is the website here. Let me see, what's the website name on this? I think it was fork activation information. That's what I named it anyway. But it's btcforkmonitor.info. And so right now it says no unplanned chain split detected. This is mainly used to detect chain splits. And see, as you can see right here, this is a Bitcoin core, and the current block height is this right here. Now, if you notice that this is the current block height right now is a larger block height than right here, the current block height for BTC1 or SegWit 2x. It's this right here. This block height is stuck at that block height. Those nodes are stuck at that block height. And ironically, the activation is actually 494,784. And it was supposed to be triggered when you get to 494,783. But for some reason, it is stuck at 494,782. Now, maybe someone's working on a patch. Hello, DD double D 8209. I don't know what that represents, but welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. So this block height right here, it's stuck, and the chances of it going on, there's still a chance, a very small chance, but I do have an insurance policy. But let me explain how this website works real briefly. It also shows the, it also has Bitcoin ABC right here. as you can see, Bitcoin ABC. And this block height is way higher than this block height right here. This block height, because of the EDD emergency difficulty adjustment that it had. So it was pumping out a lot of blocks. I can tell you the difficulty as well. So it does show the ABC Bitcoin Cash nodes as well. So this person operates 3 different nodes just to monitor if there isn't any, of course, unplanned split chain detected, which it has happened with Bitcoin Core. It may even happen with these other ones I don't know about. It definitely happened with Bitcoin Gold, from what I can tell. So let me just scroll down here and just go over how to read this part here, right here. All right, so the dark blue nodes are nodes which have a scheduled persistent chain split that has activated by activation time and has split into a different blockchain than the other nodes. So if you look at it, it says dark blue nodes. So now there's other, you can read the rest, but I'm just going to highlight that part right there just to show you that if you look at BTC1, it's blue, and so is Bitcoin ABC, which is Bitcoin Cash. It's blue. So those are essentially planned splits, and they show as being blue. So as long as this is blue, it's, I guess, a threat, a possible threat, and there's a possible chance that this can go to another block and then activate a hard fork. So I do have an insurance policy. Let me show you what that insurance policy is. So if you've seen some of my previous episodes, I talked about doing time locked based on a block height, which I did do, and I was anticipating the SegWit 2x hard fork. And so I did create a time locked address based on this block height right here, 494904, I think, which was 120 blocks after the hard fork. And so if this is the case, this is my insurance policy on the offhand that SegWit 2x, for some reason, right now, SegWit 2x hard fork is basically on hold. It's either indefinitely suspended or temporarily suspended. It's still possible to actually hard fork, very low chance, because it needs a tremendous amount of hashing power to mine that next block and then kick in and create a block larger than 2 megabytes to actually have it go. There seems to be some bugs both on the nodes and the mining side, but possibly could be patched at a later time to actually do this hard fork. So it's still possible, but very, 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 very unlikely. But this is my insurance, just in case. So if you see my previous article, I talked about how you can do time-locked addresses to get tainted coins. So as soon as this becomes available, I will pull all of it out into a new address. And then if for any strange reason this hard fork continues on beyond this block height and actually triggers a hard fork, these time lock coins right here at that block height will be on that chain, will be on this SegWit 2x chain. But of course, I've already pulled out my Bitcoin time locked address. Those are tainted, and then I can use those to taint my other addresses, so I would be protected from replay attacks, possibly, maybe. So anyways, let me go on here. So there's that news. That news is covered, and then this is going to be covered. This link to this is in the notes section. All right, so what is this? Okay, so Bitcoin Cash comes to eToro Bitstamp. So Bitcoin Cash is going to be used by eToro, and apparently it's going to be available on Bitstamp. Now, I've heard the whole story about Bitstamp before, and it's kind of false. I think they were saying that it's going to be available to the users. I don't know if Bitstamp's going to actually list it, but we will see. So just a short story about Bitcoin Cash right here. This is also in the notes section, but I will link it. It's a segue to my next thing here, which is this one right here. So Bitcoin or meet BitcoinClashic, a weird and totally unexpected cryptocurrency rebellion. Now, when I first heard about this, I thought it was going to be a fork off of Bitcoin, and I was right. I think they changed their website slightly, just a little bit. But BitcoinClashic Classic is actually already here. You should already have it. You probably don't want to be moving your Bitcoin Cash or your Bitcoin Cash Classic just yet, because apparently it has no replay protection. So you get more free coins supposedly. Now this is just developing, and I'll talk about that. Now this article was sourced from Motherboard. If you want to see the real article, you can just click right here, and it'll take you to the source itself. I didn't go there because it just had a lot of ads, so it was going to eat up everything here. Let me see here. All right, so let's go on to the tweets here. All right, so the ad had a lot of links to tweets and other things, so I'm just going to go through them. This is coming from Jihan Wu. All right, so Jihan Wu, approximately 36 hours after the upgrade of Bitcoin Cash, okay, a new block has been mined using the old protocol rules. This block 504032 is invalid under the new rules as it uses the old difficulty rules. And so that was 36 after the upgrade. So somebody was mining. And oddly enough, I was curious about why there was 10 to 13% of the hash rate missing when I was analyzing the hash rate from Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So, and I think that missing hash rate might have been used to mine BitcoinClashic. And so this is the first one here, and let's go on to the next one here. So this is the website BitcoinClashic. I kind of went over it. I noticed there's some updates to it. So let's scroll down. Let's take a look at some of the updates. So they got some nodes. There's the node, which is probably the old node. Looks like wallets will be updated soon. They do have a block explorer. I'll check it out real quick. This is it, but it doesn't really do that much. I put some of my old addresses in here. Oh, okay, it doesn't go in there. All right, I put an old address in there that I know would probably have Bitcoin Cash as well. It just keeps going and going, doesn't do much. So it's not, I don't think it's active quite yet. So there is a block explorer here that might be coming up soon, very soon. And then there's some mining pools. Now, bclassic.network is a dead website. It doesn't go anywhere. BitcoinClashic.ninja, this is the active website. So that's good for a mining pool. Now, I haven't done I haven't done any mining. Okay, I'm just giving you active websites to the mining pool. Exchanges will be updated soon, so there might be a lot of talk of exchanges, and I have a strong feeling. There's a lot of talk about Bitfinex uh, running a fractional reserve. In my opinion, any new forks of Bitcoin, there's probably a very high chance that Bitfinex will offer them, will support it. Uh, because if they don't support it, everyone's going to pull their Bitcoin out of Bitfinex and take it somewhere else. So I think Bitfinex will support a lot of coins, a lot of these Bitcoin forks, because they want more people trading on their exchange. That's my opinion. So I have a feeling maybe Bitfinex is probably going to be one of them. Of course, your typical Bittrex, Poloniex, YoBit, all the lower tier exchanges that don't have any fiat. They're all crypto. Those will probably eventually all accept it. So this is something to watch out for. Now, this is what I noticed, something a little different here. If I own Bitcoin, do I automatically own BitcoinClashic too? And I know I read this off yesterday. I don't know if it changed just a little bit. I think it might have. How you doing, Richie Rich? Yep, Sean Connery. Actually, if you read the article, it mentions Sean Connery, the fictional James Bond character. So I feel like I have a connection to BitcoinClashic. So, anyways, when I read this portion of, if I own Bitcoin, do I automatically own BitcoinClashic too? I thought it would be another airdrop, but technically you already have your BitcoinClashic. So anyone who held Bitcoin at the time BitcoinClashic was created became owners of BitcoinClashic. This means that Bitcoin holders as of block 478558, and I think they're talking about on the Bitcoin, on the legacy chain, block height 478558. Basically, when not Bitcoin Cash forked, I think that's what they're talking about, because BitcoinClashic is Bitcoin Cash, original legacy chain. And so if you still had your Bitcoin Cash at the time when Bitcoin Cash hard forked, you still have the same amount of BitcoinClashic on the BitcoinClashic chain, which was formerly Bitcoin Cash legacy chain, if that makes sense. I'll try to explain it a little bit later. So when I looked at this, I thought maybe if you have Bitcoin now, you would get BitcoinClashic, but no, if you had Bitcoin at this block height, which I'm assuming was probably the time when Bitcoin Cash forked, that's when you also have BitcoinClashic. So a little confusing. This fork is very confusing to me anyway. And here's a little bit another thing that I think was very, very confusing. Was this part here, how it talks about how is transaction replay being handled between the new and the old blockchain. Now, it says here, BitcoinClashic transactions use a new signature hashing algorithm indicated by the flag SigHash fork ID. I think, now let me continue. These signatures are not valid on the Bitcoin legacy network. This prevents BitcoinClashic transactions from being replayed on the Bitcoin blockchain and vice versa. Now, when I look at this, this is true, but this is true because remember, Bitcoin Cash when they forked, they implemented replay protection against Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin legacy. Right now, Bitcoin Classic is basically Bitcoin Cash legacy chain. All right. Now, here's the thing. Because Bitcoin Cash forked from itself, right? It didn't implement any replay protection from BitcoinClashic, which is Bitcoin Cash legacy chain. And so there is no replay protection for BitcoinClashic and Bitcoin Cash. All right. And so I want to make that. I think I'm right on this. I want to make that clear, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, I got through that. Now, okay, I'll get back to this, but this is their Twitter page, and I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this diagram to show you what I'm talking about as how the hard fork went. But I'm gonna get back to this. I'm gonna get back to this a little bit later. So this is the BitcoinClashic Twitter page. So it's going. It's live. People are obviously tweeting. Let me see. Okay, so this is the BitcoinClashic.ninja. This is the mining pool website. And then this is the Bitcoin Classic pool Twitter page. All right, so it's real. Let's see what it says actually. So clarification on the media: Bitcoin Classic is not a fork. Bitcoin Cash is forked, and we're the true chain with EDA. So very funny. All right, so this is coming from Slush. Slush also is a manufacturer of the Trezor. This is the tweet that has gotten my attention and why. Well, let me just read it. Due to lack of replay protection, Classic doesn't need any changes in Trezor. If community set up Bitcore from the GitHub, I don't know what that means, Bitcore, but I'm assuming it's some kind of implementation. From pre-fork version, Classic will work out of the box in Trezor wallet. So with this tweet, it says that there's no replay protection for Classic and Bitcoin Cash. All right. So this is what I'm trying to get at. And so when you read this, it sounds like they got replay protection, and they do. You do have replay protection against your Bitcoin legacy chain, but you don't have replay protection for your Bitcoin Classic and your Bitcoin Cash chains. All right, so people may be spending coins, and already replay protections are going on there. So let me get this, and let me try to show you and explain to you in a diagram or some kind of diagram. Let me see here. All right, so I'm going to bring up my paint here and start drawing away again. All right, let's see if it works. All right, so I'm going to start drawing again. I'm going to use red. Okay, excellent. So this right here is, of course, the Bitcoin legacy chain right here, right? So that's Bitcoin legacy chain. And then what we have here is a fork of really Bitcoin Cash, right? That's actually Bitcoin Cash at that time. But what's really happened is Bitcoin Cash forked from itself again, and it's still Bitcoin Cash. And then this has been rebranded. This has been rebranded to BitcoinClashic, or basically Bitcoin Legacy. So that's kind of what's really going on. So as you can see that there's no replay protection. So from, let me see here, red. So from this point right here, there was replay protection. So there was replay protection from this point right here, from right there. And unfortunately for Bitcoin Cash, because I guess they assume that no one would mine the legacy Bitcoin Cash chain and continue the EDA, and the EDA was, I think, the deadly flaw. It allowed any hashing power to pretty much just continually, once it mined 1, 2, 3, 4, I think up to 4 blocks with very little hashing power, it readjusted and it lowered the difficulty. I think after one, I think after one block, it might have actually just lowered the difficulty. So at this point right here, there is no replay protection. There is no replay protection at this point right here. No replay protection. So both chains, literally both chains of BitcoinClashic, which is Bitcoin Cash legacy chain, continued on, and then the Bitcoin Cash chain that forked off from itself with the new difficulty adjustment have no replay protection. And there's talk that there might be a chance that it could reorganize back into one. So they're both going to compete to become the Bitcoin Cash chain, I guess. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So this is an interesting perspective on why hard forks are dangerous. I mean, and here's the crazy part. This might be a joke. This might be nothing more than a joke. Let me close this out now. No, I don't need this. And so that's the crazy part. This thing might be a joke, and that's all it is. So, all right. So let me. Okay, so let me go into this here real quick, and we'll take a look at the hash rate. We'll look at the hash rate. And so I like to thank Skive. Let me see here. He was, I'm not a miner. I don't mine all that. I don't mine at all. And so he was telling me what these different things means. Okay, so when you mine, there's hashes, gigahashes, terahashes, petahashes, and then exahashes. And I'm assuming as you go from hashes to gigahash, terahash, petahash, exahash, it increases. And so when I'm looking at this right here with an E, I'm assuming that means exahash being the highest amount. I don't know how many how many zeros that is, but I'm assuming that's a lot. So as I look here and I compare it for today, Bitcoin hash rate is at 11.24 exahash. So hopefully that is more understandable. And then Bitcoin Cash is at 985 petahash, which is really low, really low. So if I'm not mistaken, so it looks like the hash rate is almost back up to 12. So pretty much the same spot where it was on November 8th. Between the total hash rate between both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. So we're back to the normal hash rate. I was wondering where the hash rate might have gone. Some of the hash rate must have gone to BitcoinClashic to get it started during this time, right? You know, in between November 8th to now. And I don't even know if and it, let me see here if and some of it's still missing. And some of it's still missing. So there might be a little bit of a hashing rate on BitcoinClashic that's mining at a very, very, very low difficulty and continuing on that chain. So I think that's what's probably happened. So there's that. Let me just compare the mining profitability. I'll just go over this real quick, then I'll get to the fees and the mempool, and then do a chart analysis for Bitcoin. Okay, so here we go. So let's have a look here. Mining profitability. So it looks like mining profitability for Bitcoin is down. It's down. So it's not as profitable just mining the blocks, but this does not include the transaction fees. And so mining profitability for Bitcoin is 1.735 compared to Bitcoin Cash, which is 2.128. So it seems to be more profitable to mine Bitcoin Cash right now. I don't know what that means for the hash rate. The hash rate hasn't increased. So it looks like the difficulty might have adjusted. So we'll take a look at the difficulty. There must be a difficulty adjustment by now. No, actually not. Okay, difficulty has decreased with Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin difficulty will remain for up to 2016 blocks, so obviously it's not going to change. But Bitcoin Cash difficulty is decreasing. It's going down. So you would think the hash rate would increase, but it. Let me see. Has it? Let me see if it increased just a little bit. Let me check again. It's slightly upticked, but it's nothing. Let me see. 713 petahashes yesterday to currently 985 petahashes. I mean, it's increased, but it's not. It hasn't increased anything like with Bitcoin's hash rate. Yesterday, Bitcoin's hash rate was at 10 exahash. Well, I guess it's relative, I guess, in percentage. But now it's at 11.24 exahash. So I don't see the hashing rate increase with Bitcoin Cash at all. That's interesting. And then we'll for fun, why don't we just take a look at the block size of the two? And obviously they're going to be different. So Bitcoin's always about the same, about just under 1 gig, or I'm sorry, not 1 gig, 1 meg. And from yesterday, it's decreased for Bitcoin Cash. It's decreasing. So the block size, they're not even filling the block size, which will have a potential up to 8 megs of block size. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? Good to see you. So something's not right. You know, no one's using Bitcoin Cash. No one's using Bitcoin Cash, and let's have a look at the transactions that are actually mined on the block, on their respective blockchains. Bitcoin 306 transactions in the blockchain. Bitcoin Cash 22,000 transactions. Looks like, and it's trending downwards for Bitcoin Cash. So it's something's not right here. Medium fees, and this is probably the biggest reason why you're seeing hashing rate increasing with Bitcoin, because the average transaction fee is $10, and the average transaction fee for Bitcoin Cash is 44. So obviously, it's still profitable to mine Bitcoin if you add the fees into the block reward. So that's probably why you're not seeing the hashing rate move over. And the last thing I'll check is the block times. So the only thing that's changed is the block time from Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash yesterday was at 17 minutes per block, and I think their new difficulty adjustments are based on 600 seconds or 10 minutes. So they're trying to maintain a 10-minute block time, and it's going to adjust even though the difficulty is not adjusting. It's based on the time, and so so Bitcoin block time is 8.6 minutes per block, and then Bitcoin Cash block time is 9.23 minutes per block. So they're about the same. So I'm assuming the transactions in the mempool should be going down relatively fast on Bitcoin. Should be. Anyways, let's go check that out. Let me close this out. And let's go to, let me see. Let's go to this one. Johoe's mempool statistics. We'll just take a quick look, and we'll see where we are in the pool. Okay, so let me see here. Let me see, I'm just counting 1, 2, 3, and where are we? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so looks like the mempool it's 10, anything that's 10 to 20 satoshis per byte, which is pretty much right here. 10 to 20 satoshis per byte is going to get you stuck in the mempool. Other than that, I think if you can go to 20, right now it is high. It looks like the transactions are building up. I'm not sure why, but the transactions are building up. But if you look at the different layers, if you do anything that is 10 to 20 satoshis per byte, it's probably going to get stuck. But it is getting eaten slowly but surely. Let's see. Let's scroll down here. Let's see what the fees, where the fees are as far as pending transactions fee in Bitcoin. Looks like most of it is in this section right here. This section is in the majority of it underneath this section. So looks like 180 to 200 is this right here. And then underneath that right here is 160 to 180. So that's where it is now. Let's see what it is in block size. Wow. You can see the lower fees, 0 to 5 satoshis per byte. You can see it's really taken up a lot of the block size. After that, it's 5 to 10, and then 10 to 20 is taking up a lot of the block size. And then the actual transactions that are happening right around here, very little, very little. It's probably normalizing, if anything. Okay. Hello, Crypto Nutter. Good to see you. Welcome to the live chat. And then let me see here. I got what is it? Bitcoin fees. Should be Bitcoin fees .earn.com. I know they changed their rebranding, rebranding themselves. I guess Bitcoin is not a cool thing anymore. But if you look at this one, you could tell right here, it's 10 to 20 with a large amount of transactions that are in the mempool. This the red green, or not the red, the red brown right here, and then right here. That's probably going to get you stuck in the mempool here. 20 to 30 looks like a lot of transactions have been going through. And then 20 to 30 looks like where's the other point of the transactions? Looks like right around here, 180 to 190 satoshis per byte. Also at 140 to 150 satoshis per byte. I'm just looking at where the bars spike up, and 91 to 100 satoshis per byte seem to be getting added into the block here. And then let's see if anybody's overpaying. No, not too many. Well, it looks like some people are still overpaying right around here. Probably paying thousands of dollars. But let's have a look here. 290 satoshis per byte is the fastest and cheapest transaction right now. And even then, I think you're overpaying. And that's 65,540 satoshis. So 290. Let me see. 290 is right here. So I think even at 290 satoshis per byte, you're probably overpaying. You could probably go low as 180 to 190, or even lower below that, anywhere between 40 satoshis to 180 satoshis per byte. You could probably still get it into the blockchain without waiting for weeks. That's if it remains the same. And so we're going to check out the mempool real quick. Crypto Nutter says, I sent 4 BCH earlier and cost 14 cents and took about 20 minutes. Awesome. So you got 6 confirmations on Bittrex. That's good to know. Thanks for letting us all know about that, Crypto Nutter. Let me see. There we go. Okay, so the total transactions in the mempool right now is 16,900. It is, as you can tell here, this is a 7-day transaction count right here. It does look like it's trending downwards, but it hasn't gone anywhere near a low that we used to see, which was basically, almost nothing, almost seemed bone dry. So looks like the fees are still there. Let's see what the average fees are being processed right here. So 63 satoshis per byte, 170, 86, 100, 109, 500, 212, 100, 125. So nothing extravagant. I haven't seen like $1,000, 1,000 satoshis per byte. They've been lowering. So I think it's safe to say. Well, here's one that I finally see one that's 700 satoshis per byte. But I think it's safe to say that the fees are lower than they were recently in the past week. So as long as the mempool gets eaten up, looks like the fees will lower. All right, so now let's go to a quick chart analysis here. But you know what? Before I do that, let's do SegWit. What was it called? SegWit something. SegWit.rt/charts flourish. There we go. So let's finally check out the SegWit charts. And it's hasn't moved. It hasn't done anything. It's still ranging between 12 to 10%. So nothing great here. It's still kind of stagnating around that percentage rate. All right, so let's check out the futures. Check out the futures of SegWit 2x futures. I want to see what those things come out as. This is going to be scary. Let's see what the this is going to be scary to watch SegWit 2x futures here. It still has a price. Oh my gosh. It's gone down a lot. It used to be like 300 bucks. Let's see, where was it on the day of the hard fork? Low was 194. It peaked up right here at 446. It's kind of come down right here at 252, but it still has value apparently. Scary people are still thinking that this is going to go through, and there might be. There's also some kind of SegWit 2x M2M SegWit rejection chart. Yeah, well, I was watching Adam Meister. He always seems to get leads on potential scam coins. Like, he got the lead on Bitcoin Gold, which is obviously a scam coin. The pre-mine, the lack of just any transparency, the hidden fees, and then the my Bitcoin wallet.com. I think it was my Bitcoin wallet, but my Bitcoin wallet was basically a scam wallet. And I remember I was watching Adam Meister, and he had some guy from Bitcoin Gold, and someone from the audience in the chat, I think they paid money to ask this question, what they thought about my Bitcoin wallet. And the guy just had no answer. Like he had no answer, like he was clueless. And he's like, well, I guess it's okay. It's on our website. And that wallet cost a lot of people a lot of Bitcoin. So I don't know what to make of it, but apparently there is a SegWit 2x M2 or something, or 2M. If I get the website, I will list it, because that is a possible fork of Bitcoin. And so, but I think that's essentially a scam coin to basically perhaps boost this price, because the futures here is for a SegWit 2x fork. I find it interesting that this SegWit 2x 2M, fork is another Equihash fork. It's going to be a fork of Bitcoin that's going to become an altcoin. Has has all the signs, replay protection, and it's going to go Equihash, which is like Bitcoin Gold. So I don't know what to make of it, but someone's trying to play the markets on this. All right, well that's that. Let's go to live. Let me see. What's the site again? LivecoinWatch. Hey, Yellow, how you doing? Good to see you. Yellow fever for you. So here's LivecoinWatch. I really like this one because it. Where's the 7-day? Oh, my 7-day's gone. Gives me 1 hour. I think there was an option for. Nope, that's not it. Layout. There we go. 7-day. I want the 7-day. There we go. All right, there it is. So I really like that 7-day period. It lets me know that whether the week, if we're how much a coin is up or down. 24 hours is okay, but people don't. It's kind of misleading because you can be up like 1,000,000%, on one day, and then be down by 50% the next day, and people are like, oh, we're down 50% in the past 24 hours, but you were, essentially you were up like 1,000,000,000%. So like 7-day kind of gives a better overall sense of how the market's moving. Yellow Fever says maybe I should fork Bitcoin and call it Bitcoin Yellow or BTY. That would be a great symbol because that Y looks like a fork in the road. So what I think? I think all forks, their last ticker letter should be a Y. So if they were a fork of Dash, they should be called Dashy. And if there's a fork of Litecoin, they should be LTY or LTC. So Litzy. And if Bitcoin, check this out, if Bitcoin actually Bitcoin Cash forks again, and that BitcoinClashic, put a Y at the end of it, it'll be called Bitchy. Hey, how you doing, Angel Dickinson? Yeah. If we say it out loud, these days that's possible. These forks happening are very possible now. I mean, everybody's doing it. It's ridiculous. And maybe you can get Adam Meister to talk about it. So let's take a look at the overall weekly. Despite the fact that Bitcoin Cash has gone down in value, the weekly on Bitcoin Cash is up tremendously. Look at that; it's still up 45%. So it's not that bad. I mean, considering it was only a couple $100 a month ago, Um, Having some Bitcoin Cash, you know, right now would be worth a lot. I haven't sold mine. I haven't moved mine. I did a split on it on how to do it, and that was about it. And I have to take back what I said in my previous episode, in my previous live stream. I said I only use Coinomi. That is not 100% true. I ended up using Electron Cash to split my Bitcoin Cash from my Bitcoin because for some reason Coinomi couldn't sweep the private key. But Brian was telling me that you can sweep your private key and pull out your Bitcoin Cash from a Bitcoin private key. And so, but first, I would recommend you spend everything on that wallet with your private key for Bitcoin, and then pull out or move your Bitcoin first, and then pull your Bitcoin Cash if you're going to do that. So I think I haven't tested it again. I might try it again on Coinomi, but I'm sure it works. If Brian tells me it works, it should be fine. So overall, the market looks really green on the 7-day for the week. The big movers seem to be Bitcoin Cash, Dash. For some reason, I have no idea why Dash is pumping. Um, then again, it is Dash. Yeah, it is Dash, and who knows? Maybe they'll implement 2 megabytes, even though they have no transactions going on their network, and I've shown that using bitinfocharts.com. You could check out their transaction and see that there's nothing going on there. Although I should have done this, but I didn't. Um, I did check the transactions for Ethereum, and Ethereum actually has more transactions than Bitcoin right now, and probably has more transactions than any other crypto coins out there. I'm not sure if it's because Ethereum is being, if it has to relate to their token. So if they move a token, does that also mean that Ethereum is also being transacted? I think so, because you have to expend some WE or GUI or gas, Ethereum gas, in order to move your tokens. So if there's like a billion, 100 gazillion billion tokens that's being created out of thin air, and you need Ethereum to use them. So not only does it count Ethereum, but it counts all the tokens that are being moved around as well as Ethereum transactions. So it's a little bit deceiving. It's like saying, what if we counted all the transaction for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, and then Bitcoin Classic, and Bitcoin Silver, and Bitcoin Platinum, and Bitcoin Uranium, and whatever fork of Bitcoin, and we just bundle that up into a transaction volume, it'd be like, way higher than Ethereum. So I'll have to take a look at it to see how it calculates Ethereum's transactions. Um, but I suspect that all the tokens that are being moved around are also included into that number. So it's highly deceiving in my opinion. Um, and as far as liquidity, most of these coins don't have any liquidity outside the exchanges, other than Bitcoin, because I know for a fact, because I trade in Bitcoin. So it looks like Bitcoin's at 7,700. So it's still maintaining its value. It's at 9.6% for the 7-day. That's not bad, actually. It's pretty good. So anyways, you won't find BitConnect here because it's not here. So let's go on to the final chart analysis on Bitcoin. All right, so now let's go on to our final chart analysis on Bitcoin. I'll just do a chart analysis. I'm just waiting for the page to load here before I start yapping again. This is on the 3-day. Let me go into the week. And let's just draw that big trend line. All right, let's take a look here. Let's see that trend line, and let's see the magic. Let's see that unicorn magic. Oh yeah, that's okay. Wow, that looks good. That looks really, really good. A high of 7,997, 7,997. Interesting number for a high. It didn't break 1,000 on Bitstamp. That's what I noticed. So I'm going by Bitstamp. I'm not going by some article saying that Bitcoin broke 8,000. I'm just drawing some support lines here, and it looks something like this overall. All right, so let me go on to an hourly, and I'll take a quick look at it. Kind of does look like it is struggling just a little bit. On the hourly, I can't really look at anything because the prices move so fast and so much. It's really, really hard to tell where to put supports. If there is going to be a support anywhere, this is the trend line that it looks parallel, but if I pulled out, it's a trend line, and the price of that trend line, where is it at? At 68 right here. It's at 6,800. So if there was any support, it's probably there, but I can't say for sure. And then the other supports basically back down where this low is right here. That's if it does any retracing, which I don't know if it will. I'll have to look at the longer term lines. And so let's go to 12. All right, so let's have a look here. Okay, on the 12-hour it helps. I can see the averages a lot better. So the short term moving average, it's a 10-period average. It's weighted. If you want to see what my settings are, those are my settings. The only thing I change is I add the instead of a moving average, I do EMA. I'm assuming that means estimated moving average, but I'm not sure. And then I add the RSI, which is this thing right here. And then that's the only thing I change. Other than that, I leave this the same. And it's probably the same, very similar same settings that you have available. It's free, Bitcoin Wisdom. So I'm looking at this average right here. And I could see that it's reacting to that moving average. And there was a gap. Now that gap is filled right here by the lower price that we had today. I think it was 7,400, something like that. But you can see the price is moving up. So, and on the 12-hour, it looks great. You have this crossing over here. I guess people call it the golden cross versus the death cross when it crosses downwards. Anyways, you see a cross here, and you see that big candlestick that probably helped it cross over. And so as long as the average is, the short-term average is higher than the longer-term average here, this is I think it's a 20 or 25 period average. The fact that the price action is above this simple moving average is very good. Although the RSI looks like it's played out, it does look like it's played out, but if you notice, this RSI right here is shorter, or is not as high as this RSI, or this RSI. But if you look at the price is lower, even though this RSI is higher. And if you look at this price, it's higher, even though this RSI is lower. So that's actually pretty good, because you can see it's building up momentum to go up higher. And yeah, there's a pull back here, but again, as long as this average line is higher and above this average line and it's pointing upwards. Also, there was a gap right here under this red candlestick. If the price goes up higher, like if the price goes up higher, if this turns green and it makes a bigger body going up, this average line will move and touch the bottom of this wick, and it'll look like, it looks obvious, like after 3 or 4 candlesticks, it'll look like this average line touched the bottom of this wick, giving you a buy signal to buy at that point. But unfortunately, the average lines are moving right now, and this candlestick is not over yet. It still has another, I don't know, couple. Well, I think this is a new candlestick, or maybe not. Yeah, it's a new candlestick. It's an hour old, so it's going to it needs to form for another 24 hours. But it looks good. Right now, it looks good. It looks like it retraced, and then it's gonna go up higher. It looks that way anyway. But on the 3-day, it doesn't look like we're finished yet. There's still a gap right here, and you can see the RSI is kind of pointing down. But keep in mind, these aren't done yet, so there is a gap still here. But the average is still moving upwards. It's above the average line, and it's above this average line as well. And it's still going up, still looks like it's going up. The 3-day, I think, is the most revealing, because it's, if you look at that average line, the chart, the candlesticks follow that average line pretty good. You can see it right here, here, and then this may be a peak, and this may be a pullback. So I'm seeing like higher highs here, and here, and then lower lows here. And I guess potentially this was a lower low. If the price goes up higher, if the candlesticks push up higher, this average line is going to move and touch the bottom, and this average will look like it's touched the bottom of this candlestick. As I pull back, see it kind of looks like this longer term average is touching the bottom of this wick right here. And it looked like in the past, hindsight 2020, that was a buying signal, that you should have bought at the bottom of that wick. But remember, the average line is still moving right now for the 3-day. So it appears like it's not touching, but give it a couple more candlesticks, and if the price keeps going up, it will touch the bottom of that wick, and it'll look like it. In hindsight, you'll look at it and go, "Oh, I should have bought there," but there is no perfect indicator. I'll tell you that right now. There is no perfect indicator. It will never. All the things that I'm doing is just on experience and pretty much an educated guess. There is no indicator that will tell you if the price is going to go up or if the price is going to go down. Okay, I'm going to repeat that one more time. There is no indicator, and there is no combination of indicators that will tell you if the price is going to go up or if the price is going to go down. All right, if that existed, you would never hear about it, and someone would be very, very rich. All right, Somebody else would be very, very rich, and you would never hear about it. You would never learn about it. All right, it would be the most best kept secret in the world. So there is no indicator. All right, no matter how much money you paid for it, there is no indicator that will tell you if when the price is going to go up and when the price is going to go down. There is none. All right. And the other thing is, if there's an indicator that is being used by more people, the more it's being used, the more useless that indicator is. All right, it's more useless, ironically. All right, so let me go on the 1 week, and yeah, the 1 week looks good. I don't see anything wrong yet. It's higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and I don't know how much higher it's going to go, but I'm still anticipating a higher low somewhere. I'm not sure where it's going to be, if it's going to be here at 5,000 or if it's going to go higher and then pull back and be at 7,000. If it goes, like, for example, if it goes to 10,000 and then pulls back to 7,000, that could be the future lower, higher low after the price goes up to 10,000. So that could be a scenario. You know, other than that, if you're looking for places to put your limit orders, just in case there's a price crash, you're looking for great deals. 5,500, the previous low right here, this candlestick, this red candlestick. Another one right here at 5,000. Here's another one at this longer term moving average, which looks like to be about 4,100, 4,200, or 4,000, somewhere around there. And then, of course, right here at 3,000. So if you put some market orders there and just you're waiting for a bargain and you're waiting for a deal, and you know, you want to play it that way, you could do that. Worst case scenario is that you never get your orders hit, and the price just goes up. So ideally, you would probably be a person who already has Bitcoin, and you're just literally buying the dips, or you're buying on sale. And that's a game of patience, unfortunately. So if you're patient enough, you'll get a great deal. If you're eager and want to wheel and deal and try to make some money right now, there's probably a 95% chance, or even, I would even say 98%, or almost even 99% chance you're going to lose money trading that way. It's very hard to be a profitable day trader. It really is. Like, trying to make money or end up with more cash and fiat currency at the end of the day. Like traditional markets, what people do is they have cash in their account, and then they literally try to make more money at the end of the day. And so they're competing against other people who are doing the same and trying to take their money. And at the end of the day, they don't risk holding on to whatever asset they're buying and selling. They cash out, and then they come back the next morning and they do it again. If it's a forex market, they do it for 24 hours, 6 days a week. In Bitcoin, the great thing I like about it is you can do this 24 hours, 7 days a week, 356 days a year. And so if you want to have fun, you can. Is there a chance you can make money? Yes. What are the probabilities? They're probably very low. But if you're trying to get more Bitcoin, you probably have a better chance of making more money, more Bitcoin right now, since we're in a bull market, than trying to make money, so to speak, trying to cash out the fiat currency. That's just my opinion on that. All right, so let me see here. I'm going to end it on the meme. Okay. Yep. ended on the meme. Off by 1 error. SegWit 2x missed it by that much. Uh, so yeah, SegWit 2x, not quite. Missed it by that much. It was off by 1 error. It didn't. It never got to the actual block height where it was supposed to be in order to actually hard fork. So I guess it's safe to say SegWit is dead, or it was dead, dead on arrival. But it's kind of mysterious, or uh, it's just kind of weird how it was set up that way, and it was set up that way all this time. So obviously SegWit was never meant to be, and it might have been a ruse to pump Bcash. And in some ways, here's the dangerous part about the SegWit, that about the hard fork, that it's stuck on whatever block that it's stuck on. That there is a very small chance that it can still go through if it's a hot patch. If they implement a patch that will allow it to go to the next block, and then have another patch for the miners to actually mine into a larger block, SegWit 2x can still be alive. That's the scary part. That's why I have my insurance on that time-locked address, because that will give me tainted coins that are only found to a unique address on the Bitcoin legacy chain. And if just that if that's my insurance, it was, let me see, I think I put $20 in. It's probably worth $25, but I think I have enough coins to spread out, and all you need is a Satoshi amount of tainted coins to make sure you don't fall under a replay attack. And then if the SegWit 2x for some reason gets revived, right now it's a dead zombie, but there's a possible chance that SegWit 2x can get revived. And I just think about all the possibilities here. If I was an adversary and one is of Bitcoin legacy chain, I would leave that avenue open, because if Bcash fails, let's just say Bcash fails, and in some ways Bcash is under attack by BitcoinClashic, right? BitcoinClashic is an attack on Bitcoin Cash. Now, for whatever reason, Bitcoin Cash falters or ends up dead or very unpopular. You can basically potentially start up SegWit 2x. It would be behind. You may want to put in some replay protection so it actually forks off and can't be reorganized. It wouldn't be the longest chain, though. It would have to catch up. Most likely it would be they would as an insurance, to have this SegWit just sit there at that block height could be just a way to have it start later, and could implement some EDA, emergency difficulty. I mean, we all know that EDA would probably work, and they may have to hard fork later anyway. But just the way where it stopped, it does kind of concern me. It's not completely dead, but I hope it just stays that way. I'm hoping it stays that way. Anyways, this concludes this episode here. Feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, or even do a video response. Until next time, everyone, stay tuned, and talk to you all later. Bye-bye.